The ancient Stoics, who possessed a profound understanding of human behavior, recognized the significance of mastering psychology. This knowledge was not only useful for self-control, but also for navigating relationships with women. They lived lives of profound introspection, unraveling the complexities of human nature, including the subtleties of female psychology. Today, we will draw on some of that wisdom to investigate 7 critical factors that the majority of men are unaware of before they engage in sexual intercourse with a woman. These factors have the power to significantly impact their sexual experience. Please remain with me until the conclusion, as the information you will acquire in this video has the potential to revolutionize your life. Additionally, remember to subscribe, like, and share your personal experiences in the comments section. The first chapter, the Snare of Comparison. You might think that every new woman signifies a fresh start, a pristine canvas. However, the harsh reality is that very few men are aware that women frequently compare their new companions to their ex-partners. This comparison begins the moment you first sleep together. It's automatic, subconscious, and something she's not even fully aware of herself. Her mind is racing through similarities and differences, weighing how you measure up. And this comparison isn't just about physical performance. It's much deeper about how you make her feel emotionally, mentally, and even spiritually. Let's break this down. Women have memories tied to their past experiences, and those experiences shape their expectations when she's with you. Especially for the first time, she might reflect on whether you're attentive in ways her ex wasn't, if you handle intimacy differently, or if you exude confidence that she missed before. She could be comparing how you touch her, how you react to her body, or even the way you communicate during sex. It's important to understand that these comparisons aren't something she necessarily wants to make. They just happen, and the first time you sleep together is when her brain is in overdrive, trying to gauge whether you'll be a better fit than those who came before you. The psychological weight of past relationships can heavily influence how she experiences you in bed, whether that comparison works in your favor or not. Now, what most men get wrong here is that they either overcompensate or become hyper-conscious about it. They get caught up in trying to prove that they are better than her exes and that they can be the best she's ever had. This pressure can make you seem inauthentic or overly rehearsed. Women are incredibly perceptive when it comes to authenticity, and if she senses that you're trying too hard, she'll see right through it. Instead, the key is to be confident in your own skin and forget about the imaginary competition with her ex. Focusing on forgetting about the imaginary competition and trying to outshine her past lovers will only distract you from the present moment. Women place more importance on presence than performance. They don't keep track of who lasted longer or made better moves. Instead, they are far more tuned into the energy and connection they feel with you in that moment. Pay close attention to her body language, breathing, and responses to your contact. By doing so, you transform the energy from comparison to connection. The more in tune you are with her in the present, the more quickly she will forget about her ex, as they will become irrelevant. It is also important to note that emotional engagement plays a significant role in this. This means that if you are coldly distant or solely focused on the physical act, a woman may find herself straying back to memories of her ex, who made her feel emotionally validated. Women often link emotional and physical intimacy much more closely than men do. However, if you make her feel heard, appreciated, and seen, her comparison to her ex-partners will decrease as she becomes emotionally invested in you. Understanding the psychology behind this comparison can also empower you to establish a deeper connection. It is unnecessary to inquire about her past relationships or discuss her ex-partners. However, it is imperative to establish a sense of emotional safety. Trust that when a woman feels emotionally and physically secure with you, she is less likely to allow her mind to wander back to her past partners. Instead, she will be more focused on the distinctive experience you are creating together. Another factor that frequently stimulates comparisons is overthinking or anxiety, both on your part and hers. She will sense your self-doubt on your performance. Anxiety can be contagious, leading her to withdraw from the present moment and revert to her past experiences. This is why it is essential to maintain a tranquil, collected demeanor. When you are at ease, she will be as well, and that is when genuine connection occurs. Additionally, do not underestimate the influence of aftercare. Your behavior following sex can significantly affect her perceptions. The experience of her ex-partner falling unconscious, or worse yet, leaving immediately after demonstrating genuine concern for her well-being, can distinguish you. In the end, what truly breaks the cycle of comparison is being fully present. Don't let her past relationships take up any space in your mind or hers. Show her something new, something authentic. Women value a man who is secure in himself and does not need to compete with ghosts of the past. Focusing on building a unique, meaningful connection with her will captivate her so much that she won't even consider her ex's chapter 2. Protection is an absolute necessity. No matter how much chemistry you experience, no matter how beautiful or seemingly clean a woman appears, it is utterly non-negotiable to use protection. This can result in life-altering consequences for your health and future, as far too many men fail to maintain their defense in the heat of the moment. It is important to recognize that protection is not solely about preventing pregnancies. It also involves safeguarding your sexual health. STDs do not discriminate based on appearance or attraction. However, it can be tempting to assume that she is in good health at the moment, or even worse. It is a one-time occurrence, but sexually transmitted diseases, STDs, frequently produce no discernible symptoms, which means that a woman may be carrying an infection without her knowledge. This is a biological reality, not a criticism of her character. Therefore, unless both of you have recently undergone testing and are in a committed monogamous relationship, you must take responsibility for your own health. This entails the use of contraception at every sexual encounter. There are no justifications. If a woman is truly attractive, some men may find themselves willing to take the risk. This belief may be based on the thrill of being with her. No excuses. Whether it's someone you've been fantasizing about or your primal instinct kicking in, it's important to remember that your health is more valuable than any fleeting moment of pleasure. An encounter that lasts a few minutes could result in consequences that last a lifetime. Now, let's explore a common myth. Some men believe that the responsibility for protection is solely on the woman, particularly if she is on birth control. This is a dangerous assumption. Birth control prevents pregnancy, but it does not provide protection against STDs. You still need to establish a protective barrier between you and her, even if she is on the pill or has an IUD. You still need to establish a protective barrier between you and her. This is not solely about you using protection. It also demonstrates that you value her well-being as much as your own. It shows you're responsible and care about more than yourself. Women perceive a man as mature when he prioritizes the safety of both himself and his companion. This straightforward act can enhance her perception of you, not only as a sexual partner, but as a person she can trust. Stand your ground. Trust is important, but what if she tries to persuade you to forego protection? Perhaps she claims that she has recently undergone testing or that she is currently using birth control. Regardless of her intentions, it is crucial to maintain your guard. Your health is your responsibility, and you shouldn't rely on others' word when such risks are involved. If she is truly a person worth being with, she will respect your decision to remain protected. However, if she pushes back or becomes defensive, it is a red flag. It is imperative to engage in these discussions prior to the onset of sexual activity. Waiting until you are both experiencing intense passion before discussing condoms can lead to unwise decisions. Avoid risking your health with a woman who doesn't care. It is crucial to establish your commitment to protection from the outset. This will prevent any unexpected or awkward situations, and you can concentrate on the connection without worrying about the repercussions in the future. Furthermore, trust is a crucial factor to consider. Some men believe that a woman's assurance that she is clean is a valid assertion. However, this is not the case. Continue using protection even after you've been dating her for a while, until you've both undergone testing and had a clear, open discussion about your sexual health histories. Trust does not replace responsibility. While trust is essential, confidence is not the same as trust. The truth about orgasm expectations is that a lack of caution can lead to serious health issues. Remember that protecting yourself is most attractive. Men who prioritize their health and well-being, demonstrating maturity, responsibility, and respect for their own bodies and those of others, attract women. Don't let the urgency of the situation influence your decision-making. Consistently remain ready and safeguard yourself. Never leave your health to chance. The third chapter delves into the reality of the expectations of Islam. Let us explore a subject that frequently causes males to experience anxiety: orgasm expectations. There is a widespread belief among males that if a woman does not experience an orgasm during sex, there is a problem. However, the truth is quite different. It's not necessary for every woman to reach climax in order to appreciate the experience, and excessive focus on her orgasm during a first encounter can actually harm the moment. The initial time you engage in sexual intercourse with a woman, the pressure on both parties can be intense. She may experience feelings of nervousness, self-consciousness, or uncertainty regarding her level of comfort with you. On the other hand, you may believe that inducing an orgasm is the ultimate testament to your sexual prowess. However, this perspective is flawed because it transforms sex into a performance rather than an intimate connection. The emphasis is on whether or not you performed the orgasm correctly, rather than whether or not we connected. For many women, particularly during their initial sexual encounter, there are multiple layers of emotions and psychology at play that can influence whether or not they experience orgasm anxiety, body image issues, and other issues. If she's worried about how she looks, how she smells, or how you're perceiving her, trust all these factors. Relaxation is crucial for most women to reach orgasm, and it may take some time to adjust to your rhythm, your touch, and your presence before she feels comfortable enough to fully let go. This doesn't mean she didn't enjoy herself. Women can derive a lot of pleasure from the experience without having an orgasm, especially if they feel connected to their partner. That said, this doesn't give you an excuse to ignore her needs or desires. The most effective approach is to engage in conversation with her and inquire about her preferences, rather than solely focusing on her climax. This will ensure that she feels respected, comfortable, and desired. Be mindful of her body language, and do not hesitate to discuss what is mutually beneficial. In some cases, the mere knowledge that you are interested in her pleasure is sufficient to make her feel amazing even if she does not achieve orgasm. Additionally, it is important to remember that foreplay plays a significant role in female pleasure. Even if you believe you are performing all the right things during sex, women often require additional time to warm up both physically and mentally before they can completely enjoy the experience. Rushing through it to get to intercourse can leave her feeling unsatisfied. Spending time with her will likely result in a more fulfilling experience for both of you. The worst thing you can do is start worrying or commenting if she doesn't reach a climax. Women can tell when you're too focused on their orgasm, making them feel like they're failing or flawed. This pressure frequently results in a mental block, which makes it even more difficult for her to relinquish control. Ultimately, it's crucial to maintain composure, focus on the relationship, and understand that it's not a competition for victory. A climax is merely a component of a more intricate and extensive experience. What is most important is the way you make her feel physically, emotionally, and mentally throughout the entire encounter. Instead of focusing solely on pursuing the orgasm, focus on establishing intimacy. Trust that when she senses a profound connection with you, her body will naturally respond. Regardless of whether she climaxes, she will be significantly more inclined to return for additional experiences. In Chapter 4, Sensing and Experience, women possess an extraordinary capacity to detect nervous energy, even when they believe they are maintaining a cool demeanor. From the moment you enter the bedroom, your energy communicates more than words or actions. If you are hesitant, anxious, or attempting to make a lasting impression, she will immediately notice. This can have a significant impact on her perception of you and, in the end, the entire sexual experience for many men. During the first encounter with a new partner, you may feel like you're balancing between impressing her, making her feel good, and ensuring that the experience is unforgettable. However, the irony is that the more you exert yourself to impress her, the more likely you are to appear inexperienced. Because true confidence and self-assurance eliminate the need to prove anything. You are not overthinking every little detail or worrying about whether you are performing up to a standard. You are simply present in the moment, allowing the connection to unfold naturally. What many men fail to realize is that women are not seeking perfection. They are not expecting you to be the most skilled lover right away. Instead, they are looking for someone who is, confident, secure, laid back, and adaptable. The flow confidence. The idea of being in charge of the situation and yourself makes confidence appealing. This level of self-assurance is more persuasive than any grand gesture or practiced maneuver. Men tend to associate confidence with performance. You may believe that providing the ideal experience is the key to winning her over, but in reality, your capacity to manage imperfections has the greatest influence. Every sexual encounter is distinct, and there is no universal strategy that guarantees success. At times, events may not unfold as anticipated. You may be overly enthusiastic or experience an unpleasant moment. However, your response to these circumstances is what truly distinguishes you. A man who is able to laugh off a misstep or take a pause without panicking is far more appealing than one who is desperate to save face and tries to bulldoze through the situation. This brings us to another crucial point. Women do not require you to be perfect. They require you to be present. If you are overly concerned with technique, focusing on every move as if you are performing in a sexual Olympics, you will miss the real opportunity to connect with her. You can only achieve a genuine connection with her when you stop worrying about impressing her. When you are tense or anxious, your energy changes, not just your behavior. Women are highly sensitive to changes in mood and energy. If they perceive that you are nervous or overcompensating, they may feel uncomfortable or even self-conscious. They may begin to question whether they are doing something wrong, or worse, they may disconnect emotionally due to the forced or off-kilter vibe. Conversely, when a man is calm and collected, it establishes the tone for the entire experience. This allows her to relax and engage fully. This doesn't mean that you should try to project confidence. In fact, it's a surefire way to come across as insecure. Women possess a keen sense of perception, enabling them to discern authenticity immediately. If you're feeling a little nervous, that's okay. The key is not to let that nervousness control you. Acknowledge it, but don't dwell on it. The more you focus on the moment and on her, rather than on how well you think you're doing, the more natural the encounter will feel for both of you. It's also worth noting that vulnerability can be attractive as long as it's genuine. If you're nervous because you really like her and want things to go well, it's okay to admit that sometimes being upfront about your feelings can actually work in your favor. It shows that you're emotionally aware and confident enough to share what's really going on inside your head. This kind of openness can build intimacy and trust, which are essential for a truly satisfying sexual connection. On the flip side, when you're pregnant, awareness. Attempting to overcompensate with bravado or conceal your nerves can have the opposite effect. The moment she thinks you're more interested in your performance than her, she'll tune out. Instead of being the most skilled or experienced, the best lovers create a relaxed environment where both partners can explore and appreciate each other without pressure. Confidence is not about adhering to a predetermined script or executing the perfect technique. Rather, it is about being adaptable, open, and willing to allow the moment to unfold naturally. Ultimately, the key to avoiding the inexperienced trap is simple. Women appreciate men who can handle uncertainty with grace, who don't crumble under pressure, and who don't let a few nerves ruin the experience. When you are comfortable with yourself, you allow her to be comfortable with herself. That is when the magic happens. Be authentic. Do not attempt to conform to a preconceived notion of what you believe she desires. Women are more interested in your identity as a person than in whether you have mastered an arbitrary sexual checklist. In the end, what matters most is your ability to relax, be present, and genuinely enjoy the moment without overthinking it. Chapter 5. Awareness of Fertility. This may not be a topic that you have given much consideration to, but it is imperative that you comprehend fertility awareness if you are engaging in sexual activity with women. The fertility cycle of a woman is not merely a trifling detail. It is a significant determinant of whether or not a casual hookup will evolve into a life-altering commitment. Whether you wish to prevent unintended pregnancies or want to make well-informed decisions, understanding a woman's fertility cycle is crucial. Recognizing the optimal fertile period for a woman is crucial. In all honesty, it is important to be aware of the ovulation window, which is typically between days 12 and 16 of a woman's cycle. Sometimes unplanned pregnancies occur during this time, and some women are more aware of their fertility cycle than they realize. In fact, some may even use this knowledge to their advantage. Awareness of this window is crucial because unplanned pregnancies are most likely during it. Although most women take responsibility for their fertility and take necessary precautions, there are instances where a woman may not be completely transparent with you. Some women may even hope for an accidental pregnancy as a way to secure their partner or maintain a relationship. While this does not apply to all women, it is possible to increase the gravity of a casual relationship. The truth is that there are instances in which men find themselves in fatherhood not as a result of their negligence, but rather because they failed to comprehend the dynamics of fertility timing and relied on someone else without taking their own precautions. For instance, if a woman insists that she is not in her fertile period or assures you that it is a safe day, do not simply accept her word unless you are tracking her cycle, which is highly unlikely. If you are in a casual or early-stage relationship, you cannot be certain, and unless you are prepared for the possibility of becoming a father, you must use protection every time, regardless of what she says. You and her share responsibility for birth control because of its effects. Additionally, a woman's libido may experience a surge during her ovulation period as a result of hormonal changes. Her enthusiasm, seduction, and interest in you may increase. Despite her heightened interest in you, it's crucial to remember that this is also her most fertile time. The risks of pregnancy are at their highest, and understanding this can prevent you from questioning why she suddenly so's into me, and instead help you recognize that this may be her ovulation talk. It is not solely about the possibility of pregnancy. There is also an underlying power dynamic in understanding fertility. Men who are cognizant of a woman's menstrual cycle are less susceptible to manipulation, even unintentionally. By comprehending the mechanics of fertility, you are better prepared to safeguard yourself from life-altering surprises. In the end, being aware of a woman's fertile window provides control. It is not about fear, but about emotional triggers. Fertility is not something to leave to chance or trust wholly to someone else's word. When you are well-informed, you can confidently navigate your intimate relationships, knowing that you have taken all necessary precautions to safeguard yourself. Be aware of the potential hazards and consistently consider the timing, as nothing can disrupt your life plan more quickly than an unexpected event. Paternity. Chapter 6 pertains to the comprehension of emotional stimuli that occur during sexual intercourse. Sex is never solely physical for women, regardless of how casual the encounter may appear. This is a phenomenon that even males frequently encounter. Emotional triggers are a significant component of female psychology during sexual intercourse. If you fail to comprehend the emotions that motivate her, you are missing a significant component of the puzzle. When a woman engages in sexual intercourse, particularly for the first time with a new partner, her emotional triggers are active in all directions. These triggers may be derived from past experiences. If you fail to identify these triggers, you risk a lack of connection and future drama. For example, some women may have unresolved trauma or emotional baggage from previous relationships, particularly if they have been hurt or betrayed. If you do or say something that reminds her of a painful past experience, even unintentionally, it can result in a negative emotional reaction. She may suddenly withdraw, become distant, or even lose interest in continuing the encounter, leaving you to question what went wrong. This is the key. Be cognizant of her verbal and nonverbal cues. If she appears tense or uneasy at any moment, refrain from proceeding, and instead ask her how she is feeling. This straightforward act of checking in can prevent any potential emotional landmine from explosion. Women appreciate a man who is in tune with their emotional state, not just their body. Another common emotional trigger is feeling undervalued. If a woman senses that you're treating her like just another notch on the bedpost, you're going to hit a wall fast. Women, even in casual hookups, want to feel desired and respected if she gets even the slightest hint that you're just using her for sex. It can shut her down emotionally, making the whole experience awkward or cold. Be present in the moment and make her feel like she's the only one that matters, right then and there. Don't just go through the motions, engage with her on a deeper level. One major pitfall is bringing up the future too soon, especially if it's not what she's ready for. Some men, in an effort to seem caring or connected, make the mistake of talking about potential relationships or the future during or immediately after sex, while this may seem like a good way to build emotional intimacy. It can actually have the opposite effect, especially if she was viewing the encounter something more casual. Bringing up future plans too soon can trigger feelings of being trapped or pressured, causing her to pull away. On the flip side, some women may get attached emotionally even when the encounter was meant to be casual. This is where understanding emotional triggers becomes crucial. If you sense she's forming an emotional bond after the first time, you have shared a bed and are not in agreement. It is preferable to engage in a direct conversation sooner rather than later, as leading her on by pretending that everything is fine will only result in further harm in the future. You must respect her feelings and be upfront about your intentions. Recognizing these emotional triggers does not compound sex. Rather, it enhances its significance when one is cognizant of them. You can navigate the circumstances with a greater degree of finesse and control by understanding the depth to which emotions can run during sex. Women who are emotionally depleted are significantly more inclined to desire to continue seeing you, and you can avoid the pitfalls of miscommunication and hurt emotions. The 7th chapter, the subtle technique of sexual dominance. The function of sexual dominance is one of the most misunderstood aspects of female psychology. Even independent and strong-willed women frequently respond favorably to a man who is adept at asserting himself in bed. However, there is a caveat. It's about finding the balance between attentiveness and assertiveness, not force or aggression. It is important to recognize that numerous women desire a man who can lead sexually, but not in a manner that is overbearing or contemptuous. A sexually dominant man is not one who disregards her boundaries or pushes through her desires. Rather, he is an individual who is self-assured enough to assert his authority while still being attentive to her responses. It is a delicate balance between power and sensitivity. For instance, guiding her movements or positioning her body in a manner that is both natural and connected can be extremely seductive to a woman. This demonstrates that you are in control and also engaged in her pleasure. However, dominance without consideration quickly degenerates into selfishness. Many men believe that dominance entails going hard and fast, but in reality, it is about being in control of the experience while still paying close attention to her responses. The key is to lead while disregarding her cues. You can establish dominance through subtle gestures, such as maintaining eye contact, setting the tempo, or engaging in verbal communication. A dominant man does not simply push forward when a woman is withdrawing or exhibiting signs of discomfort. Rather, he reassesses, recalibrates, and finds a new way to assert control that is in accordance with her comfort. Women frequently appreciate a man who can take charge of the situation, provided that he is aware enough to adjust as necessary. Some women may even attempt to assess your capacity to assert yourself without exceeding boundaries by withdrawing in order to observe your response. Whether you exert excessive pressure, retreat utterly, or achieve the appropriate equilibrium of continuing without compromising your control. Passing these discrete tests requires awareness and control of your own and her impulses. The final key to sexual dominance is communication, which is contrary to popular belief. Women are incredibly perceptive, and if they perceive that you are capable of sustaining dominance while respecting their limits, it is a significant turn-on. In fact, the most dominant men are those who are not apprehensive about speaking, whether it be to give commands, ask questions, or simply check in on her. Women appreciate a man who can confidently express his desires while remaining receptive to feedback. Ultimately, dominance is a matter of leadership, and effective leaders consistently communicate effectively. The art of sexual dominance is not about imposing oneself on a woman. Rather, it is about establishing a connection that is both deeply satisfying and secure. It is about demonstrating that you can lead while still being completely attentive to her needs and desires. Women are attracted to males who are capable of maintaining a delicate equilibrium between control and attentiveness. Once this balance is achieved, the individual will be a reliable source of affection for the woman. 7 critical insights into female psychology that only 1% of males comprehend, including the subtle comparisons she draws with her ex-partners. The advantage that most men miss is the ability to manage expectations around orgasm, remain vigilant about protection, or master the balance between dominance and attentiveness. This is what distinguishes those who fumble in the dark from those who truly connect on a deeper, more impactful level. The reality is that sex is never solely physical for women. If you aspire to be a member of the 1%, it is a complex interplay of emotions, intuition, and unspoken cues. The men who women can't forget. It's not about being the most physically gifted or experienced. It's about understanding her mind, respecting her body, and navigating the complexities with confidence and awareness. Before we conclude, remember that knowledge is power, but it's useless unless you put it into practice. Be mindful, be intentional, and most importantly, be yourself. Women are attracted to men who are authentic, in control of themselves, and focused on the present moment. If you found these insights to be valuable, please consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and sharing your thoughts in the comments. Share your personal stories in the comments below. We would be delighted to hear how you have navigated similar situations. Stay tuned for future episodes, in which we delve even deeper into the secrets that can transform your relationships with women. Until then, stay tuned, maintain a keen focus, and remain at the forefront of the competition.